What's going on, everybody? It's Jamal, aka Boss Eagle, here with another Facebook Live. Today is Wednesday, September 13th. Couldn't remember which day it was. But yes, today is Wednesday, September 13th. Here to give you a little Wednesday motivation as the hashtag on Twitter and everything. So hope you guys are doing well. Also running my computer over here, so excuse me real quick. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Like I said, I just wanted to jump on Facebook Live again and just continue to just share with you guys what's going on with, just with my journey in music and everything. Like I said, my name is Boss Eagle. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm a hip hop artist and entrepreneur out of Colorado. As you can see behind me, got the Colorado flag going. Yeah. And working on my first album right now, called the Firebird album. My first single is actually available right now on iTunes and Spotify and all that good stuff. It's called Firebird. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go online and take a listen to that. You can go to my website, www.bosseaglemusic.com. You can get to, everything from there, all the socials and everything. Also, you can, Anduin is on. Yeah, bring on Anduin as a guest. We'll go live. Let's go live. All right, got somebody checking in today. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about. Sorry, go ahead and clear that out. All right, so I just want to talk a little bit about my experience at the CD Baby DIY Con in Nashville this year. So got the little brochure. Can anybody see that? Okay, make sure there's not too much of a glare. So cool. So got a couple people on. Yeah, all right, let's see. This is my first time doing this, so I'm gonna try to make sure we get people on. Oh, my sister's on right now. Nice. So this past August, I went to the CD Baby DIY musician conference, and it was absolutely amazing. Okay. See some comments. All right. Sorry about that. Basically wanted to talk about some of the things that I learned there. The CD Baby DIY Musician Con was absolutely, as you can see there again, it was absolutely phenomenal. I had a great time at the conference on there. My sister calling me my nickname. Okay. We're gonna have to have a little conversation. Love it later. But yeah, the DIY Musician Con was awesome. And I still am hoping to write a blog about that and talk about some of just the amazing things that happened during those few days there. If you've never been to Nashville, first of all, Nashville is absolutely amazing. So make sure you get a chance to get out to Nashville at some point, just because it's amazing, especially if you love music. I think I mentioned in one of the other videos, there are venues, especially on Music Row there, that have 3 or 4 levels, and there's just different bands playing on all types of. Got a couple other people jumping on live too. There's all types of music playing, and every band is good. There's music coming out of every window. So earlier this year, I went to the ASCAP Expo in, I believe that was April. That was earlier this year, and it was a ton of fun there as well. Learned an absolute ton, and that was around the time my first single had come out too. So I was really just kind of in the beginning of everything. And then I wasn't really sure about this one, the CD Baby one. I didn't know. I wanted to go, but I wasn't sure about going. And talked to my wife, and she's like, "Oh, you should go." And talked to a buddy of mine, Dion Wilson. Shout out to Dion. He's an R&B singer. And he's like, "Man, if you get a chance to go to Nashville, you have to go." So, oh man, we got a bunch of people jumping on live. All right, invite everybody in. What's up? Hopefully I'm doing that right. But anyway, so I ended up going to the DIY Musician Con for CD Baby out in Nashville, and CD Baby is my digital distributor. So if folks don't know, there are different digital distributors out there: CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, and they all pretty much do a lot of the same stuff. It's kind of like the modern day digital record label in a sense. Only it's different. It's a lot more artist driven and things like that. And I love CD Baby because I believe most, if not everyone, is like a musician. Like they're musicians there too. So it's really cool because they kind of understand it from the musician standpoint. But they do all kinds of things with helping you get your music out there on the various social media platforms, I'm sorry, streaming platforms and things like that. So I ended up going out to the conference, and there were just these types of conferences are amazing. The tough part about them is that there's so much good stuff. And so what's difficult is that you have to pick. Oh man, we got a lot of people jumping on. Cool. You have to pick what you want to go to, and so you can't attend everything. So I definitely made my schedule. Again, went to the CD Baby DIY Musician Conference. Is what we're talking about here. If you're just joining in Nashville just a few weeks ago, actually, and a couple of the sessions that again, a lot of them really stood out to me, but I just want to talk about a couple of them today. And again, I'm hoping to eventually soon here when I have some free time to be able to blog about it and share a little bit more in depth. But I wanted to just share a couple of them. One that really stood out to me was actually, it was a session by Rick Barker, who was probably, if you probably might know him from all different kinds of, hola Carmen, how you doing? Carmen's on. If you know Rick Barker, you probably know him in a lot of different ways, but one of the ways that people might really know him is that he was actually Taylor Swift's first manager. He's kind of the one that kind of took her from, being a MySpace artist to that next level. And, Taylor Swift obviously is in a whole different stratosphere. And so, his session was amazing, and it was actually on this, really talking about like Facebook Live and those types of things. And what I really enjoyed about him, one was his story. He's got an amazing story of just wrong turns and then how his life kind of ended up to where he ended up managing Taylor Swift, and starting and coaching girls soccer. And he kind of mentioned he felt like maybe that was God prepping him for the the emotions and everything of a teenage girl, you know what I mean? And then he ended up going into radio and kind of went that route and ended up management. Now he does consulting and all kinds of things too. But I really enjoyed just his approach to it. It was just very real, very authentic, very genuine. And then I think he may have talked about in this session that he had kind of a music marketing kind of training kind of program thing. And I'm like, dude, I'm sold. Like already, the dude's he's just great. I loved, like I said, loved his story, loved his approach. Okay, got some. Hey Jennifer, how you doing? So what was really cool is after that, he spent about 2 hours at a table. Before his session was over, he's like, if anybody wants to continue talking to me, and he spoke in one of the big, in like the big ballroom area. So, I mean, hundreds of people in there. And he's like, if anybody wants to continue talking, he's like, I'll be at one of those tables out in the hallway. He's like, I don't care about lunch, so just join me. So there's actually a picture that someone, one of the staff people from the conference took, and I was like, oh, there's me standing there listening to Rick Barker. But it was really cool because he just took that time to continue to meet with us and answer questions and different things. And so, I really respected that and everything. And it's kind of cool because we're kind of in contact right now as well. So I'm really excited about that. So shout out to Rick Barker. I did buy that program as well and getting ready to get started on the music marketing challenge. And I've already kind of completed one of the programs. It was super reasonable, and just these resources that, as an independent artist, you're always there's a lot of, you don't know what you don't know, and it can help you, to really have someone who's in the business, who's been there, who's done that can kind of help coach and guide you through. And it was really cool because at the conference, I'm a bit of a, I don't mind asking, and kind of a side note, I went to a conference called Accelerate Your Business. It was here in Denver. Maybe about a year and a half ago. And after the conference, they had it was like all these different entrepreneurs, and they had like these tables. And so you spend like 10 minutes or something at each table. And there was an entrepreneur named Raymond Ray, and he had his book there, and he's like, yeah, I wrote this book with Facebook, kind of things like this Facebook marketing book. And I was like, can I have that? And he's like, Yeah, so he's like, here you go, man. He's like, I appreciate the hustle. Like, so he gave me the book. So anyway, when I was there at the CD Baby conference, I asked Rick Barker because he was talking about how his clients, they have access to him and they get his phone number. I was like, how can we get that phone number? He's like, well, you're one of my clients. You get my phone number, you get me. So after the conference, he sent out some emails and stuff, and so I actually responded to one of them, and like I knew he wasn't really, asking for our opinions or advice or different things like that. But I was like, man, if I respond to this email and I answered like all the questions, I was like, my responses are in blue, kind of thing. I was like, maybe he'll notice or something like that. Maybe it'll stand out. So a couple minutes, so I answered the email, I respond to it. I sent it off. A couple minutes later, I got a response email. I said, I'm driving right now. Give me a call if you want. So, I had to jump on the horn, man. So at first, first couple times I couldn't get a hold of him and everything. I'm like, oh, so I sent him a text, I sent him emails. I'm trying to call you. And the third time I called, we were able to talk. So we talked, for just, about 7 or 8 minutes or so. And it was really cool because I'm like, man, this is Taylor Swift's first manager. And I'm talking to him on his cell phone. So, I told him, we were talking about that email and I was like, yeah, I knew you weren't really like asking, you weren't asking us our opinions or thoughts or anything like that. But I just figured, hey, maybe if I respond to the email, might stand out or whatever. And he's like, and that's why we're on the phone right now. So again, shout out to Rick Barker. I'm excited to get deeper into this program and hopefully, see how it can help, for me as I'm pursuing, building my music career and everything too. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. So if you're just joining in, I see everybody. Hey, Jennifer, how's it going? Hey, Carmen. If you're just, joining in, today I'm just kind of talking about a couple takeaways from the CD Baby DIY Musician Con that I went to in Nashville a few weeks back here in late August. So the first session, one of the ones that really stood out to me was Rick Barker's session. I was trying to find the actual, it's called Using Facebook Live. That's what it was called. And he's the president and CEO of his own company, and he's done social media for like American Idol and things like that. So that was one of the ones that really stood out to me. And again, a lot of them did, but I don't want to go through all of them on this one video. The other session that really stood out to me, they had these sessions called How I Did It, and then they were basically interviews with different folks who did different things. And one of the ones that I went to was called How I Did It, and it was one of the artists there he had charted on Billboard. And so he's a hip hop artist out of Memphis by the name, what up, J-Bo? Jason Harris, what's up, my man? Get Jay on here. So that was the second, one of the other sessions that really stood out to me. Was a hip hop artist by the name of Tyke T. So if you want to check him out on, all the social media and stuff like that. And he just had a great interview. What's up, my man? How you doing, brother? So like I said, if you're just joining in, today I'm just sharing about a couple takeaways that I took away from the CD Baby DIY Musician Conference that I went to just a few weeks ago here in August. I'm on one of the other sessions that really stood out to me was called How I Did It, and this artist Tyke T, he's again a hip hop artist from Memphis, independent hip hop artist, and so I remember just like being so, I think, taken by how just authentic it was. And he, a lot of times you go to these conferences and people are telling you kind of what they did, but not how they did it. And that was one of those things. And he mentioned that, like, yeah, I know, I've been there too. Like, you're wondering, like, okay, but how did you do it, kind of thing. So Tyke T, independent artist, no big record label or anything like that, charted on Billboard. So for some people that may not mean much, you may not care about that, but that's actually a pretty big feat. And how he did it was basically he read an article that was about another artist. I think her name was Allison Curtis, if I'm not mistaken. He had seen an article on how she had done it. And so he's like, oh, well, I'm going to do it. And so it was trial and error, and there were some missteps along the way where he, one of the things he thought is that, like, he didn't realize it had to be albums instead of singles and that kind of thing. So I tried to record on my iPad a lot of these. Hey, Rick, how's it going? Tried to record some of these on my iPad. And so basically what the way he explained it is like, it's not like it's necessarily, it's not like it's like an easy thing to do necessarily, but it takes some of the mystery out of it and makes it seem more feasible. And so basically, you know, in the US, you have Nielsen SoundScan that reports all the album sales in the United States. And so what they do is when your album comes out, and I believe they start tracking from like a Friday or whatever. And so you get a week, and then however many sales you have in that time is how you are able, that's how they determine, you know, if you land on some of the Billboard charts. And kind of the magic number. So if you guys have seen, you know, some of my social media, I threw up a picture the other day that just had these like skyscrapers going to the sky with the number 750. So that was that's kind of the magic number, is 750. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 750 albums is a lot, especially kind of in today's time, you know, where it's mostly the way that people consume music now is through streaming, and even less now digital downloads. You know, when iTunes and stuff was really big, that's where most people flock to. But now with Spotify and everything, you know, even digital downloads are down in terms of sales. So so he kind of explained how he did it, and it was really cool. And some of the things that they learned as well, he and his management and his team, they learned that what actually Nielsen SoundScan and or Billboard, some combination of this, what they also allow is they will allow pre-sales to count towards that as well. So it could be pre-sales, digital downloads, and physical. So if you have, let's say, if you have an album release party, the venue will have a form, and they're basically verifying that you sold X amount of albums there on the spot or whatever. But pre-sales, if I'm not mistaken, they will give you up to 8 weeks of pre-sales. So in essence, you could basically have 9 weeks to kind of see how many sales you can generate, and then see kind of where you land on the charts. Now, after his session, I talked a little bit more with his manager and got a little bit more in detail, and the kind of the way she explained it, she said, you know, it could be 750, it could be more, it could be less though. And if I remember correctly, and excuse me, Ms. Shea, if I'm wrong, I think the way it works is it might depend on some of the bigger artists too. So if people are selling more that week, then, you know, it might take more to get on that list, so it might push you down. But if the sales aren't as high, then you could probably come in a little bit lower. So maybe, you know, 600, or maybe even in the fives. But I think that 750 was kind of that magic number. And so, you know, that for me wasn't even something that was on my radar before. And I think because as an independent artist, you kind of think that a lot of these things they're out of reach. You know, like I don't think I could ever chart on Billboard, you know, on any of their charts. You know, Billboard has, you know, several charts. It's like, how could I ever be a Billboard charting artist? I don't have a big record label or, you know, anything like that. It's a grind as much as it is, even just being a you know, an indie artist. And so, so that really brought some things, you know, a little bit closer to home, and made some things seem a little bit more, you know, feasible and realistic. And so that's now kind of one of the things that I'm shooting for, is kind of that 750. And again, I know that's a lot, and so that's why, you know, it's for me, you know, it's a teamwork makes the dream work thing, and that's why I want to, you know, not the only reason, but kind of one of the reasons I want to just kind of share what I'm doing and invite people into this journey, because it really is, you know, it's not just, you know, me, one hip hop artist, you know, trying to do these things. It's like, man, you know, like let's all get there, you know what I mean? And this whole like dream pursuit kind of thing. And so that's something that I'm looking into right now, and you know, I'm gonna have on my radar to see if that's possible, especially going into 2018, you know, thinking about myself being an indie artist with no big record label, no big PR, no big publicity, publicity company or anything like that. You know, to be able to say like, hey, I charted on a Billboard chart, that might help to be able to get festival gigs, or even if you're looking to book venues. A lot of times booking agents and the folks who are the talent buyers, it's like, what can you show them? It's like, okay, you've got an album, great. Okay, even if it sounds great, that's fine. But what else do you have? What else is in that press junket? What else is in that press kit? What else do you bring to the table if we're gonna advertise this show, or if we're gonna try to bring people out of their doors and into our venue? And so I think that could be a really cool thing. Being able to say, hey, I've charted on Billboard. It's kind of like one of those resume, highlights on there. So again, if you're just joining today, I was just sharing about a couple of takeaways, a couple of sessions that really stood out to me from the CD Baby DIY Musician Conference. I went to this back in August. The first one was on Rick Barker's Facebook Live session, and then the other one was called How I Did It. And it was a couple different interviews, but the one I just talked about was a hip hop artist out of Memphis named Tyke T. And how he, as an indie artist, charted on Billboard. And so that, like I said, those are things that I'm hoping to implement going forward. I'm definitely looking, obviously, more into this Facebook Live. Started doing this week. This is day 3, and want to continue to do more of this. And then also to be able to look at the possibility of trying to reach that magic 750 and maybe chart on Billboard when my album drops later this fall. And then going into 2018 to be able to use that as steam and momentum to hopefully book some gigs, whether they're U.S. or internationally, venues, college and university circuit, festivals. Those are kind of festivals. The college and university market and house concerts are kind of my top 3 performance things that I'm looking at. So or arenas for performing in. So that, like I said, that charting on Billboard could be a huge boost in kind of helping me be able to get to that possibly. So so that's it for today. And yeah, again, I definitely, I appreciate you guys for being on today. Share, continue to share, what's going on with you guys too. I just got a question. I got a question from Carmen, my business. Carmen says, love the video right now. I'm very nervous if I have to do a video or go live on Facebook for my business. Definitely do it. I think probably, Carmen, the biggest hurdle or obstacle is just starting, I think. And that's what I just had to do. I just had to, do my first one. And then here I am day 3 and it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it or whatever. But, I'm just doing this on my iPhone right now. I got a little, lavalier, lapel microphone. So just turn it on and just kind of sharing what, what I'm going through and my journey and my process. So for your business as well, I mean, just get it out there, just put it out there. I'm also going to be posting these on Facebook as well. And then I now know that I'm supposed to save these Facebook Live posts as well. Otherwise the video disappears. So if you missed the one from Monday, I've reposted it back on my Facebook page for Boss Eagle Music. I'm probably going to also post these on my 8199 Entertainment Facebook page, and then also on my personal page as well, but they're also on my YouTube channel. I put them right on my YouTube as well, and that's youtube.com/Boss Eagle Music. So Carmen, don't be afraid, don't be scared. Definitely, just go for it. Just go for it. Thanks for joining, Rick Foster. Appreciate you coming on, man. Lucy, thanks. Hey Blaine, how's it going? Thank you guys for joining with me today. And the other thing too is if you all, like I was mentioning in some of the other videos, if you all want to continue just to dialogue further, to get in a deeper community and be able to a place where we can share a little bit more, and a place where I really want to probably share a little bit more deeper things about the journey and about my music journey and everything like that too. I do have a private Facebook group that I'm starting. It's called Your Grandma's Hip Hop, so it's #Your Grandma's Hip Hop, and that is again because a lot of people, when they hip hop artists or people who like hip hop, when they're talking about hip hop and rap, they're like, oh, it's not your grandma's hip hop. Well, mine is. And so, I'm confident your grandma would I'm fairly confident your grandma would like my hip hop. So, so it's called Your Grandma's Hip Hop, #Your Grandma's Hip Hop. So let's get that trending too. Let's get that on Twitter and everything as well. So, if you all are interested in like I said, in dialoguing further or deepening connection, building the tribe, building the community, and we all go to the Grammys. If I go to Grammys, we all go to the Grammys. I don't know if I'm going to the Grammys or not, but that'd be cool. So there's that. And then also, definitely check out my website too. That's bosseaglemusic.com. You can get to all of the other socials and stuff from there. There's also links to be able to listen to my first track, Firebird, on there too. So if you click on the Spotify logo, it'll take you to the song on Spotify. For most of them, some of them you actually have to log in. But so if you have logins to those different streaming platforms, you'll be able to listen to it on there. But there's so many ways to listen to my first song, Firebird. I've got other songs coming out too. I'm actually really excited because I'm going in the studio on Friday to record again one of my new tracks called We Got It Too. And I'm super excited about this song because I kind of see it as like being the Colorado anthem. And it's just this whole idea about like, everyone, saying they got it, on the West Coast and the East Coast. And don't get me wrong, I grew up on all that stuff too, but I just don't want people to forget about us. You know what I mean? I want people to know that, we got hip hop here too. And I'm not claiming to be the king and nothing like that. I ain't that kind of guy. But if the people will have me, I wouldn't mind being the ambassador. You know what I mean? And so I'm actually going in the studio, got a female vocalist coming in. It's going to be awesome. And I've been performing other songs too. I've got another song that people are really vibing with. It's called Baby. That's out, that I've performed live a couple times too. So I've got an open mic video of that, one of those performances up on my YouTube channel. And then hopefully I'll be able to get that track up soon. It's about almost done through the mastering process. So making music takes a long time. It's an arduous process. It's a labor of love and commitment and devotion because it's not quick and it's not easy. So I got those three kind of circulating. I did do a radio station performance at the end of July. I'm still waiting on the audio file from that. I performed 3 songs: Firebird, Baby, and We Got It Too. And then there was an interview after that. So as soon as I get that, I'm going to try to match that up with the video that we shot from there, and then hopefully post and then get that posted on YouTube as well, so you guys can see that. I did Facebook Live that, but there was some audio issues and stuff too. So once I get the audio from the radio station, I'm going to post that video too. So y'all look out for that as well, and I'll let you know when that comes out. So I appreciate y'all for being on today. This was really awesome. So thank you so much for joining, for watching me on this third Facebook Live of mine. This was really cool to see so many people jumping on and being a part of this. And that's what it is. I want to do this thing grassroots, and I know that I need my people, need the support of you guys to be able to do this thing. So thank you so much. Again, check out Firebird if you haven't already. Definitely check out the single. Let me know what you think, and I'll keep you posted when new things are coming out. So keep coming out, keep coming to the Facebook Live, because I'm gonna try to keep doing this. So, all right. Well, God bless, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.